Good, y'all, it's Ethereal. So, today I am joined by my homie Roball, one half of the
Hello?
creators of Seven Deadly Sins Retribution. Introduce yourself, brother.
What's good? What's good?
Alright, so Roball and I have come a long way. So proud of him, him and the success. Really happy for him. So I have a couple of questions here. Oh my gosh. You heard that? Oh.
Yeah, it sounded like freaking gunshots. What the heck?
But like I said, yeah, I'm very happy for his success, you know what I'm saying? Anyone of the homies making it is cool. So yeah, I have a couple questions for you. I always want to do this little interview with you, since you opened up your game. The first thing I gotta ask you is, like, what do you think about your community so far? How do you like how everything is turning out?
So with every game, whenever you open it, you get like a few levels of the community that haven't merged into one yet. Like at the moment, we have probably like 3 to 4 to 5 levels. Like some levels may be toxic. Most of the levels actually aren't toxic. They're just waiting patiently for updates and voting on ideas that we post, which I like about that. But it takes time to educate some of the community to know that you're going to be updating on this day, or when you say something you mean this, and so on. It just takes time. I like the version of the community we have right now, but I think it'll get better over time.
Understandable. I mean, like you said, man, anytime you start something off, it's going to end up, it's a process. It's a process to everything. I just got to get this question out the way because I know people going to be asking it. When is the update coming? When is the update coming?
Okay, so whenever we have update ideas, what I want to do is I want to time them for Fridays. But the issue is we just released and we didn't release on a Friday. So it's even more difficult to time updates because of our schedules. Fabiox is like 7 hours ahead of me. I think Chang is an hour ahead of me. So it's a little bit difficult to time updates with everybody. But in the future, like when the game starts getting regularly updated, I want to update on Fridays.
Okay.
For the upcoming update, I think we're going to split it a little bit. I want to do a Halloween update for the game, which is hopefully this weekend. I don't know exactly. It depends on if we can get 3 of the things done that we need. I'm not going to say exactly what they are, but with the Halloween, I guess, event, we want to have 3 things for the player to look for or obtain. Hopefully no more RNG stuff for this part, but it's going to be pretty cool. It does require a little bit of work to be done, and today's Fabiox's birthday, so he's not able to work on the game today.
I gotta say happy birthday to him.
But tomorrow he'll be able to work.
Yeah. Now, guys, he said, hopefully. Okay, hopefully. So if it don't come, don't pressure them. All right. He said hopefully. If it's not out, it's not out. We just gonna be waiting as usual. Okay. Now, this is a community question. Is Giant Clan getting added?
Dude, the issue with Giant Clan is like if you increase the size of a player, like they start clipping through the floor and stuff. I'd say don't expect it. But if we figure out a way to do it, we'll add it. But you won't be a giant like 24/7 if we ever do it. You'll probably be like small and you can increase in size or something.
Understandable. Yeah, because yes, there's a whole bunch of weird physics involved when it comes to increasing the size on Roblox. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah.
It's just weird. Sometimes the character like just kills itself sometimes, and it's weird.
Back in My Hero Academia, that happened a lot.
Basically.
Back in My Hero Academia.
That was like one of the things we could never like.
Oh my god,
that was so annoying, bro. I think even Snake had like some issues with that. But now next, I know you told me about this before, but so what kind of magics are you guys planning on adding next?
So for magic, like we're working on wind magic, which is pretty cool. It's like Hauser's magic from the series. And we also want to add like lightning magic to the game, like Gil Thunders. But the thing is, like, we don't just want to do magic from the series. We of course want to add, our own ideas to the game, which is like why we did, different things for vampire race that are coming in the future and stuff like that. And also we don't want to just limit ourselves to the race from the series, because I know a lot of people want giant race, the beastman race or whatever. They want doll race as well. And while we could add like stuff like doll race in the future, which I hope we can, we do want to work on other stuff too, which is why like with this Halloween update, hopefully we can get this done in time. If not, we'll probably add it to an event in the game in the future. We want to add a new race to the game that the players can earn, and it'll be in their spin system after they earn it through a quest that isn't going to be extremely difficult. But like things like that promote gameplay to obtain things, I think that'll be pretty cool. but it just depends on how we feel in the future with magic and stuff like that.
Hey, that sounds interesting. I don't know, you probably don't want to give too much details on that new race, but
Yeah.
that is pretty interesting. So you guys can be looking forward to that. Now, I think the next immediate question after that is, will there be more special or time limited forms like overheat related to magics?
When it comes to things like overheat was like our first attempt seeing what would happen, like what players would prefer with future systems. In the future, it won't be as, I'd say, heavily based on numbers in the future. At the moment, it is pretty heavily based on numbers, and I think in the future we'll do stuff like that. And I know we have plans for wind magic getting one, but I also want to have earth magic, ice, lightning, and stuff like that get their own specific form that you have to earn. It just depends on which ones we have ideas for at first.
Okay. And tying to that as well, somebody asked in the community, will races have their own magic? Like, for example, demon having Hellblaze, goddess having arc, fairies having miracle wind, etc.
So when it comes to race specific magic, I'm not a fan of always limiting things to a certain race in games, but if it has to be, we would consider it. I don't have an exact answer on that right now, but I'd say in the future, because we have like Hellblaze's slash effect already made and stuff like that. We have effects made for stuff like that. We just haven't determined the way to obtain it specifically for a race, or if anybody can get it.
Okay. And another good question, because a lot of people are curious about this, but they don't know too much about what this is going to like be. When it comes to sins, I noticed a sins tab. How will sins work in the game?
Okay, so if you've ever played Xenoverse 1 or 2 or whatever, they have like a master system in the game. I'd say imagine like beating a dungeon on hard mode, and then Bond, like you fight him or whatever, and he escapes and such. His NPC will be in the map, and he'll be able to like teach you or assign you a quest or whatever. I don't know what we're gonna do exactly just yet, but he'll be in your sins tab, and as you progress, that sin will, rise in its efficiency. So after you like raise your sin, you'll be able to master the sin.
So what would a sin be, if you could give like an example of that?
So let's say you got greed, right? Greed would probably have some sort of passive effect or maybe a move of some sort. Don't know exactly which one we're going to do first. It could have more than one thing, like a move and a passive, but it'd be things that players would get specific to the sin that they can only get through the sin.
So like, let's say for example, correct me if I'm wrong here, like if you get banned, maybe like if you kill an NPC, maybe you have a chance of like taking a little bit of money,
exactly,
stuff like that. Okay.
Basically passives like that, or maybe moves in the future like snatch.
Okay. Another on the topic of like abilities and magic and all that. Somebody asks, will weapons ever have skills attached to them?
So like, will a sword ever be able to shoot fire out of it?
Yeah, basically like that. That's what they're asking. Yeah.
In the future, we could do that. I don't really want to focus on that right now because, of course, the main goal is to increase the amount of people playing the game and staying in the game. Right. So I think the goal right now is to make it so the game is a little more fun for players and less buggy. But I could see that happening in the future if we ever wanted to add it.
Okay. Another good question. What are you guys gonna do with commandments? And I think what the other part that they said is a spoiler grace. Not too sure what that is, but are you guys gonna be adding commandments in the game or something of that sort?
Well, like, I don't know if we'll add like commandments like you can speak to them, but we'll probably add like NPCs in the future to fight or something. Okay.
Now another question relating to the update. What can we expect from the upcoming Lyonesse update? Because that's the big update coming up, right?
Yeah, Lyonesse is basically a whole new map.
Okay.
So like the current map, we're probably gonna add like a Halloween update to this map. That way players can have something to do and also have fun with the event.
Right.
And then when it comes to Lyonesse, really it's a large map. That's why it's taken so long. There's so many quests we have to make. There's so many NPCs we have to make as well. It's so big that it makes the current map feel small. Like the current map is about a quarter of the size of the Lyonesse map, and Lyonesse, the kingdom itself, is like half the map itself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ishtar is also coming in this update as well, right?
Yeah, Ishtar should be coming with the Lyonesse update.
can you give players any insight as to what exactly they're going to be doing in Ishtar if they have the Game Pass, or?
Yeah, so Ishtar is basically like a hyperbolic time chamber. It's like basically fighting an NPC to get EXP. I think there was an episode in season 2 where Gil Thunder and somebody else were fighting something in a cave. It's kind of going to be like that, where there'll be an Ishtar map like above ground, and you can, you know, walk around it, chill in it. There might also be a shop inside of that map. We haven't really determined if we're going to do that yet, but there's also like a little cave part underground where you can fight an NPC, and we're either going to make it so per hit you get EXP or per kill.
Okay. Now something I'm very curious about myself. Are there going to be any more expansions like that in the future? Expansions
Like Lyonesse?
Yeah, basically like Lyonesse. Like, what else could you guys add on there?
Lyonesse map could definitely get expansions in the future. The map will increase in size, but it'll probably have more things added to the map itself, like maybe more NPCs that are different, or new quests, or even the guild system that we plan to add.
Ooh.
That's not going to come in the current update for Lyonesse that we have planned. Like, the plan is Halloween update, then Lyonesse update, like a week or two later, and then guild system hopefully in the future, and like friend teleport and such.
Now, I know you've come from a very, very good background when it comes to like guilds and, you know, community-based stuff. So do you guys have anything, or you specifically have anything that you really want to implement with the guild system? Because this can be something really fire, you know what I mean? So yeah, what?
So I personally want to make it so the guild system promotes working with people. And with the guild system, with it comes with a lot of like things that the player could do. Like, the players could maybe host wars with each other. They could, you know, go into battle against NPCs together. I just want to make the game feel like it's more than just a grind game.
Right.
And I think the guild system is like 70% of making it not feel like just a grind game. At least a grind game with a purpose, if you're going to think it's a grind game regardless.
You guys plan to add something like guild halls maybe?
Yes. I don't know if it's Wizard 101 that had guild halls, but Fabiox was speaking about how he wants like players to be able to have their own guild hall of some sort.
Maybe work something like Maple Story 2, because Maple Story 2, like, everybody has like a set. I mean, I'll talk to you about that after the interview, but Maple Story 2 had a good concept when it came to guilds and stuff like that. So yeah. Oh, this is a really good question, because this is actually probably one of the more unique ones on here. So somebody asks, will there be some type of tool or ability similar to what Hawk has, where you can actually measure how strong somebody is?
Like the power level system?
Yeah, like a power level system. Will there ever be something like that?
We could definitely add that in the future. I don't think we'll add it for now, because, you know, the power level system was introduced a little bit later on in the series to, you know, start ranking people.
Right.
And I'd say we could add that in the future, just not right now.
Okay. So if you were to add it, it would probably be something like a starter, right, from Dragon Ball, like something like that. Yeah.
It would probably function almost exactly like that.
Okay. And because we spoke about ranking, it's actually not a question I have on the list, but where do you see PvP going when it comes to this game? Do you ever make like a tournament type of system, or, you know, a PvP mode?
I could see a PvP modes being in the game. Like, I could see, you know, one-on-one battles, team battles and such. What I want to do is, the reason why I think most games don't have good PvP, it's not because of the combat entirely. Like, some games just have horrible combat. Some games have great combat and great PvP, like Final Stand and ABA, but not many people go into it because the incentive over time just becomes mundane. It's just not worth it over time, and some people just do it for the clout or for bragging rights, which is good and all, but I want to make it so there's more than just, you know, punching, kicking each other, firing a fireball. That's why in the future it's going to be a game that's based on combat and magic in combination. That's why some people notice that over time they have to start putting points into other stats, not just strength.
Oh, another question, I gotta ask this, because I know it's probably something that you get probably every day.
Is it about demons?
No, it's not about that. That question is coming up, but that question is coming up, but it's related to, you know, because a lot of people, they say, will there be a way to get spins in the future aside from codes? Like, will you be able to purchase it with money in the game?
Well, I don't like locking spins around codes, and I know people don't like that either. Eventually, there will be more than one way to get spins, of course, other than Robux and codes. Maybe we'll make a money system for it or a progression system for it. I don't have it in my mind right now, but I know we're going to have a system for it in the future that doesn't limit it.
Okay. Okay. Um, this also goes back to expansion. I just want to quickly backtrack to that. So you see how you had yours is gonna be a teleport, right? You got a teleport there, right?
Yes, you're gonna teleport to another game.
So will there be anything else that we're gonna be able to teleport to aside from Istor? Istor.
So like, you're saying in Lyonesse, right?
Yeah.
So of course, like future maps, you could you could probably teleport from Lyonesse or the starter map.
Mhm.
Probably the starter map, like Final Stand did with Earth.
Right.
But from Lyonesse, we want to have a teleport to Istar. We also want to have a teleport to maybe like another dungeon of some sort, or the dungeon that we currently have. But we also want to make Lyonesse like the hub for higher level players. So like, let's say you were max level at the time that Lyonesse came out. Like, let's say the max level was 300 as an example. If you reach the level 300, you can just chill in Lyonesse, but of course they want something to do, so we'd probably have a dungeon teleport there, or Istar, or something else.
Right. Now, I believe in the show they have there's some sort of demon world, right? Or something
Yeah,
of that sort.
Purgatory.
Will people be able to go to that? Will y'all ever implement a system like that?
We have it in mind. A lot of players like easy games, and I hate to break it to some of the players, but this game isn't like you do 90 damage with like 90% of the health of the MP. Right. The game's going to be difficult to an extent. It's going to be possible to beat something as long as you have like the necessary equipment to do it, or the necessary combat experience. You don't necessarily need the best sword to beat something, but you got to be skilled enough to beat it.
Right.
But in the future, stuff like Purgatory, it's not going to be like, oh, you go on the map, you go to the end of the map and you kill the boss. It's going to be somewhat difficult because it's a whole nother world. It's a demon world, basically. You're fighting against mobs that want to kill you. They're not your friend at all. So just imagine the game. There's going to be some easy places, like maybe Fairy World would be like a lot less hostile than Purgatory. But for the players that really want a hardcore experience, like, let's see, what are some games that are really hardcore, like Smite and stuff like that? Any game that's really hardcore, imagine that. Basically, Purgatory is going to be pretty difficult to beat.
Don't expect something easy, basically, at all. Nothing easy. Yeah,
nothing's going to be easy in a place like Purgatory, but maybe the Fairy World could be a lot easier compared to that.
Actually, okay, so now let's get into one of the two hot topics. All right, the three, actually, let me say the three. So, like you mentioned before, we got to talk about Demon, Sunshine, and Goddess. All right, so Demon, what is you guys' plan for Demon? Because we know Fabiax had said something about tier 2, but can you go in depth with that, or
Demons really aren't weak. People think they're weak right now. Like, of course, compared to other races, like, I don't know, Vampire, I guess they could be considered weak. But to be honest, Demon honestly isn't that bad right now. In the future, it will get more forms, of course. Like, people know it's going to get updated.
Yeah, it's going to, of course.
We already have the model for Demon. I don't know if it's called Tier 2 or V2 or whatever. The one that Meliodas had in Season 1 where he looked like he was zoned out and like... You know what I mean? Like the little black all over his right arm or whatever.
Yeah.
Basically, that form might be coming soon in the future. People really want wings for demons. Well, if they had it in the series, imagine it coming to the race in the future as well.
Right.
But demon is more of like an end game race, where in the end game, demons will be good. But right now, it's going to progress as the game progresses, because that's one of the races people love the most.
As it should.
Yeah.
I know people want like all the attention just straight to demons. No, gotta be attention to other stuff too. You know what I'm saying? Let everything flesh out by themselves. All right, as the game progresses. Now Sunshine. Now this is a question that I'm actually curious about. Like how are you guys planning? Are you guys gonna implement the one like his peak form, or?
Spoiler warning.
That's a spoiler warning. Okay.
Some people might not know, but eventually, yeah, that'll be in the game. We've already spoken about it.
Okay. And Goddess. Now, I don't know if this might also be a spoiler because I personally haven't heard about it yet. Something called Arc? Is that a spoiler?
That it's not necessarily a spoiler with just the word, but if someone Googles it, it might spoil it. But like Arc, basically, Goddess right now has no moves. It's just buffs and wing flying. Goddess isn't just gonna be flying, guys. Come on, it's pretty obvious Goddess is gonna get some moves.
Right. And the last question, right?
Yeah.
This is just for the tiebreaker. Which do you personally, out of all of the races in the game, which do you personally like the most right now?
The ones that are currently in the game?
Yeah, the ones that are currently in the game.
Dang, you should have asked me that like a few weeks from now when the new race is at. Currently in the game, I like Goddess
Mm-hmm.
mainly because of Flight.
Mm-hmm.
Flight is really nice. I
Yeah,
think
Flight is
Fairies tier
nice.
2 has Flight, but I just love the Goddess Flight. The animations, the way it feels when you're flying,
Right.
the sound effects, it's just perfect.
Yeah. And now, out of all the magics in the game, which one are you the most a fan of?
Most a fan of Earth, bruh.
Earth? Yeah, I know Earth
Yeah.
is something serious. I like Earth too. I didn't think I was gonna like it that much, but
The one people
Earth is
hate the
nice.
most just because of its chances. Like you
Yeah.
can't sleep on the magic that's the most common. It could still be good.
Yeah, Earth is pretty cool. I'm not even gonna lie. I've been having fun with it. But
Yeah.
I think that concludes this interview. I want to thank Robal for coming out. You know, shout out to him and his game. You know, I've been enjoying it myself. Been grinding heavy. I can't wait for this new update. You want to say anything to the public before we end this interview, bro?
Yeah, I just want to repeat, the upcoming update is going to be like a Halloween type update. We're hoping to have 3 things for players to do. We'll probably specify that later on in a announcement. But the update after that, maybe a week or 2 after, will be Lyonesse. It's taking a while because there's a lot of things to do. And I know a lot of people got mad because Fabiak said, in a day or 2 out. When I say date, that'll be the date. Fabiak said that because we thought we could get it done in time.
Mhm.
It just took too long, and he, just said it at the blink of an eye.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will be leaving their Discord down in the description. You should already be in there, to be honest. Make sure you guys follow them both on Twitter. I'll leave that also in the description. Make sure y'all go ahead and subscribe to Robal's channel. You guys should be already. I mean, come on now. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. It's been EtherealMiracle. I'm out. Deuces.